Welcome to Art Focus. Art Focus is a monthly 30-minute program that will focus on local arts and cultural organizations here in Columbia. Each month we talk with local arts and cultural organizations and representatives from their groups. Our first guest today is Sarah Dresser with the Office of Cultural Affairs, the manager of the Office of Cultural Affairs. Welcome.
We decided to make this show about
all about
us today.
Yes, all about us and the Office of Cultural Affairs and all the great things that we do.
Yeah. Right, and we kind of work with a lot of groups. So
yeah. So tell me a little bit about the office, what the office does.
Right. So Office of Cultural Affairs, we're a city department within the city of Columbia, and I like to tell people who might not be familiar, you know, a lot of other cities might not have an Office of Cultural Affairs or a city department. They might have an arts council that fills that role and does a lot of the same types of activities and services that the OCA does. So we are a city department. We have been part of the city officially for just over 30 years, although we have had an arts commission that has been involved in overseeing our arts funding program for many years before that. But as an official office with city staff, we've been around for just over 30 years. And I like to summarize the programs that we do kind of in, you know, four main areas. The first is our arts funding program, where we have just a little over $100,000 each year that we have an application process where nonprofit arts agencies are able to apply for our city funding. So that's a big component for what we do. And then the next would be our public art program. So we administer the Percent for Art program, our traffic box art, as well as, you know, taking care of all of the city's public art assets. There might be other kind of unique opportunities throughout the year that we are able to also oversee, and then just making the public aware of all the public art that's happening in the city. And then we kind of serve as just that communications and marketing, trying to spread the word about all the arts activities that are happening. So doing something like this, like having this art show, we have our online newsletter, we have other guides. So we're just really trying to spread the word about all the different things that are happening in the city. And finally, I would say we coordinate a handful of special events throughout the year, whether that be our city's diversity celebration, some of our partner with Parks and Rec activities like a concert series and Family Fun Fest, Poetry Out Loud. So we have a handful of special events that we also are in charge of. We don't do a ton of, you know, like programming. We don't have a facility where we're running shows or classes. So we're really kind of that service organization to our arts community and providing those opportunities. So that's a kind of a quick summary of all the things that you and I get to do.
Yes, your elevator speech. Yes,
yeah, my elevator speech.
So talk a little bit more about the Percent for Art program, because I think a lot of people don't really understand that program and how it works within the city.
Right, so Percent for Art, it was enacted by city ordinance in 1997, so it's just over 25 years old. And a lot of cities across the country have a similar Percent for Art program. I think Columbia is one of 3 in the state of Missouri that have Percent for Art. And anytime there is a new city municipal construction project or major renovation project that has a budget of over $1 million, and this has to be an above ground capital improvement project, that may be eligible for Percent for Art. So anytime, you know, if there's a new parking garage going up or fire station, city rec building, anything of that nature that has a budget of over $1 million, we can kind of assess and see if that would make sense for Percent for Art. And then there's a whole process with our Standing Committee on Public Art and our Commission on Cultural Affairs. We, as the OCA, administer that call to artists process and overseeing the design process with the selected artists. So a couple of recent examples: when the new Columbia Regional Airport Terminal opened up, that was one of our biggest Percent for Arts we've had. Right now we're in the middle of our new fire station number 11 with that project. So it's a way that you know, as we are continuing to improve our city facilities and have new places where people can gather, there is that public art element that is budgeted into that project, and it's 1% of the total budget for the project. And I think it really is a way to showcase our local artists, national artists, bring them to Columbia, It creates kind of a space for people to gather. If you just look at Keys to the City in front of City Hall, that has kind of, not only is it just a plaza, maybe people would gather there, but I think having that art there as well has really made it an iconic place for gathering. And yeah, it kind of is a way to create a museum-like experience in our daily lives as people are out and about and doing things around town.
Yeah, I love that you can wander around anywhere, downtown or throughout the community, and see art on display. Art that either the city has helped be a part of with a % for art, or the projects like that are happening over in the North Village with their art walk, or with what Simmons Bank has done with theirs. It's what has made me stay here, is our arts programming and all the wonderful artistic opportunities that are available. Last night at Stevens Lake Park, the concert, first concert of the season was fantastic. So talking about music a little bit, thinking of the concert and thinking of all the different art that we have around the community, I've been told that we're doing a program called Make Music Day.
Yes, so Make Music Day, yes. I'm excited to share about that because that's a relatively new initiative that OCA has taken on. And, you know, OCA, I would just say, you know, we try to find new ways to bring arts to the people with little budget. So this is one of those examples of, you know, we have the staff members, so if we can just administer something that isn't going to cost a lot, like capital-wise, we try to be able to do that. So this is one of those examples of Make Music Day. This will be our second year. So last year was kind of like the pilot, like dipping our toes and just seeing how things would run. And it's actually an international day of music that takes place every year on the summer solstice, June 21st.
So it obviously moves every year.
The day of the week will change. The date stays the same.
Right.
And it's, you know, we as City of Columbia kind of we're part of the Make Music Alliance, which is kind of the umbrella organization that kind of gets all the different cities and communities involved. So we have kind of someone we can go to help us administer this, but we are now in charge of making this happen in the City of Columbia. And it's really kind of a music festival that people can make themselves. So any organization, business, individual, your neighborhood, you sign up as a venue, whatever that is. So if you're the library, or if you're a small business downtown, or if you're a restaurant and you have a patio or inside space, you sign up as a venue and you say, here's what my venue can provide, whether it's electricity, whether it's a stage, here are the times that I will be open and willing to accept artists, and then musicians sign up and they can request to play at whatever, you know, one or many venues across the city that day, and then the venue accepts their request, and it's a matchmaking site, kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like a dating app, but for venues and musicians. Yeah, or, you know, say you're a musician and you know, like the venue, you can pair up and really just request each other. But yeah, we hope that there's all these also kind of unique matches happening throughout the city, and they sign up themselves on our website, and you know, then that creates the calendar. So if someone is just interested in seeing what music is going to be happening all around town that day, they can look at the calendar, or they can just wander around throughout Columbia and just be surprised at the various musical acts that are performing, whether on sidewalks and shops, at, you know, at Rose Park, at a park while they're kind of out for their walk. So we're excited for this second year. I think we've really built you know, last year some people got involved, so this year we're really trying to make sure more venues are aware of this, more individual musicians, but it can also be a community. It doesn't have to just be professional musicians. It can be any ability, any age. So even if there's a local music studio of, you know, flute players or whatever instrument, they can all decide that they want to show up at the park and kind of have a jam session. Or if you want to say, I'm going to have a drum circle, anyone kind of come and bring your drum, and we will just
it doesn't even have to be a drum. It could be flower pots. It could be anything that can make music.
Right.
Yes.
So you can also offer those kind of opportunities for the community and amateur musicians to be involved as well. It's not just audience members sitting back and watching things happen. So that we're hoping that people create those kind of community interactive pieces as well. So
I love the fact that like a neighborhood, maybe a cul-de-sac can consider themselves a venue, and people in that community can come out and play, and it's just free music all day just to celebrate just the fact that we're celebrating the solstice and just having free music around for everybody to enjoy or participate in. I think is a great program.
And that's another good point to bring up. It has to, when you sign up, you have to offer that as a free event that is accessible to all. So it has to be, I think an accessible venue as well.
Right.
So if you say my living room is a venue, everyone has to be, if anyone shows up.
Right, you have to be willing to let them come in. And, so think about what you want, maybe have your driveway or your cul-de-sac. Or
if you're an individual. So I'm hoping it can, a lot of people use porches.
Right.
So that is, and for people to find out more information, the website where all of this takes place is makemusicday.org/ColumbiaMo.
Okay.
And we're promoting it right on our website as well.
Sure.
For Office of Cultural Affairs.
I'm assuming there will be a deadline for when they can sign up, and that way we can make sure that everybody's organized and they know when and where and who and what. And so that deadline.
The deadline to register as a venue, a musician is June 15th. So
June 15th. Okay.
About a week before June 21st.
Right.
Just so we can make sure that all of the matches are made and everyone is kind of set on the schedule, so there's no like last minute scrambling. We're trying to avoid that. And I think we've talked to a lot of people, and we're just getting them all signed up now, and I think it'll be a really great, if you want to get out there and sign up, or just wander around on June 21st. There'll be a lot to take in.
It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited too.
So you told us the website and how they can get involved. So what is your favorite part of what OCA does?
Right. So I've been there, I was just saying before we started filming, about 11 years. So it's that seems like a lot, like a substantial amount of time.
Yes.
I think for me, it is the funding for our arts agencies, as well as the public art. We've done a lot of that. But I think really that funding and getting to know all of our different arts organizations. We have, I would say, who apply. We have 25 to 30 eligible groups that receive our funding. And, they're everything from small organizations like Mid-Missouri Traditional Dancers, who have been around since the 1970s, to even in the last 10 years since I've been with the office, we have new organizations that have popped up, like the Unbound Book Festival or Greenhouse Theater Project. So there's just this wide range of agencies that are doing really great things. Small level, really big budgets, groups that have been around for a really long time, or I think we've seen that Columbia supports those new ideas and new initiatives. There is a spot for those groups to be successful. So not just with the funding, but I think another part, kind of a tangent of what we do, is trying to find ways to help our organizations with any other kind of service or capacity building. So that's another facet of what we try to do as an office, is be supportive of just all of our nonprofit arts agencies and what they do. So getting to know them, building those relationships with the organizations, and I think talking about matchmaking, sometimes we are that, entity that groups come to if they have ideas or they need to collaborate. So we really try to, if it makes sense, like matchmake the agencies and get them together and get them together as a community. And I would say, just from interacting with them, all of our agencies would agree that our Columbia is a very collaborative community. It's not competitive in that way. Everyone really wants each other to do well and wants to collaborate and coexist and be successful, even stronger, working together.
That's great. As we come into the summer season, we will see a lot of the organizations like Maplewood Barn Theater, who's celebrating their 50th anniversary. They'll be performing. So a lot of people think during the summer nothing happens, the students are gone, but that's not true. We've got a lot of organizations that have a lot of wonderful events.
Right.
So if people are interested in learning more about art, we talked a little bit about art news.
Yes.
You want to talk a little bit more about that?
I would just encourage everyone to go to the OCA website. The easiest way is como.gov/arts. Take you to our website. There's information there to click and sign up for our email newsletter, Art News, and that gives you every week. Thursday comes out what's happening the next week, whether it be theater, art exhibit openings, classes. I think a lot of for the kids and younger folks, there's a lot of summer camps and arts camps that happen. But there is a lot that goes on in the summer. I think that's maybe even more true now. We have the Art and Park Festival that comes in June. A lot of summer concerts, like with Missouri Symphony, their Firefly Festival. Lots of things are happening. First Fridays happens every month, regardless if it's winter or summer. So visiting our website will,
I love that First Fridays is happening, and I love the fact that now Cooper's Landing is doing their Last Fridays, and if you're not familiar with Last Fridays, it's similar to First Fridays. They just do a big celebration on the last Friday of the month, which I think is great, having different arts organizations play there, perform. They have great food trucks and all kinds of fun things. So Columbia's a great place in the summer.
Yes, so I think we're excited to share all that's happening.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for your time.
We
all
appreciate
that you do.
it.
Well, thank you. Yeah. So again,
more
more information can be found on our website. Sign up for Art News. That way people are fully aware, or go to our website, take a look at all the different things going on there, and just enjoy summer and enjoy art.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.